Welcome to A Social Disease, a podcast for recapping and relating to Degrassi the Next Class. I'm your host, Jessie Mack.
And I'm Carly Jo Gear, also a host. And this week, we're talking about Season 1, Episode 8, hashtag Team Followback.
Welcome back, everyone. We don't have any special guests today.
But we're special anyways. And that's all you need to know.
Today we're talking about hashtag Team Followback, which according to Urban Dictionary is the Twitter philosophy holding that when one user follows another, the latter should reciprocate and vice versa. I don't know that a vice versa really makes sense there.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But basically what Degrassi was saying is that Maya gained a lot of followers this episode, and she should have followed every single one of them back if she was polite. If she was just being a kind, person that's not. What do they call Twitter?
Oh, I don't know.
Snap. Oh my God.
I don't think they've brought it up.
No, but they do call it something, because I remember there was an episode where they didn't say something about tweeting. They're like, did you chirp that? I'm pretty sure they said chirp. But I don't think it's called chirp. Maybe it is called chirp.
It's not on the wiki. The wiki says Twitter, so I don't know. Like, it names a bunch of things and then says Twitter at the bottom, so.
I wonder.
No clue.
Interesting. Anywho.
We open on a cringealicious Tristan saying, "As president, I call this meeting to order. First piece of business." Ugh. And pulls this weird looking guy in with terrible hair.
That was his one walk-on role. I think he actually won a contest or something, and they were like, "Do you want a walk-on role on Degrassi?" And he was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You're going to have to make out with Tristan." And he was like, "Aw."
Sounds good. This guy has terrible fashion, terrible hair.
I mean, he's got Jonah hair,
which is terrible.
I like his glasses, though. I do like the Malcolm X glasses.
But yeah, I was cringing so hard at the opening. I was just like, can this stop? And then watching it over again, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Tristan, but for me, he has zero sex appeal. And
he's so corny.
Yeah, I don't know. He does not do it for me in any way, shape, or form.
But so they start making out, but the rando is worried. What if people see? Tristan thinks it's early enough to get in some extracurricular activities.
Hey.
They make out some more, and Rando calls him Mr. President. I am hating every second of this scene.
I know, it's so weird. Oh my God. And the fact that he's making out with this dude, and there's his Tristan poster is in the background. Oh God, it's so bad.
Tristan suddenly stops. He's clearly in some sort of discomfort. He plays it off like he's actually concerned that someone will walk in. So as the guy leaves, he texts Zoe, 911. "This dick is on fire."
Oh God.
She comes by and jokes that he wants baked ziti, but Tristan is in crisis mode. Zoe asks, "Where's the fire?" "It's in his pants, duh."
Duh. Oh my God, I totally rewound and wanted to see what the text was before that she had sent. And it was "2 of your exes are in my next class. Should I send them over?" And he's like, angry emoji, angry emoji.
So the feminist club has taken over the gym, crafting signs for their assembly. Goldie leads the meeting. There will be speeches and then a compulsory performance of Not Okay. They're also going to do a skit where Zig plays a cat caller. Grace snipes at him. "You've got that bad guy role on lock." She's carrying the weight of a secret and judging the fuck out of him.
Oh my God. But I love that Zig is there. He literally does whatever the fuck Maya tells him to do. And they're like, you're down to do these skits, right? That sound awful. And he's like, "Yep, I'll be there."
Yeah, he's definitely following her around like a puppy dog and just soaking it in. Clearly making some progress on his mentalities on things, but then cheated. So
yeah, so you still fucked up, Zig. And that wasn't very feminist of you.
So Goldie is explaining that they're doing a presentation on consent, which is awesome because I don't remember having much talk about consent when I went to high school.
Oh no, we definitely didn't ever talk about consent in health class.
Right.
And I feel like we had a pretty good sex ed class.
Mhm.
I feel like we talked about pretty much every form of, birth control, but And we definitely talked about, I remember I found papers that I had like questions or whatever I answered from health class. It was like ways to say no.
Mhm.
So they definitely made us come up with ways of saying no to men, but they never ever like talked about consent.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that the culture talked about consent at the time. Like, this is such a new phenomenon where the culture is like actually caring about it.
Yeah, because some of my reasonings, like, I mean, I think I was half joking but half serious. It was like I wrote, I'm sorry I can't, I'm on my period, which I think would definitely work in high school.
Yeah.
Like now it's like sometimes I try it and you
It
get the
does not
you get
always
yeah, you
work.
get the dudes that are like, I don't care. And you're like, oh fuck. Well, I just don't want to. Shit. You call my bluff because
Okay.
because really it shouldn't matter, but yeah, man. Sometimes I'm like, this is totally gonna work. And they're like, no, I'm down. And you're like, oh fuck. Oh yeah, and I think one of my other reasons to say no in high school was that I was like, oh no, my parents wouldn't let me. And I think that it was like one of those, like, you know how you can tell your friends that you can't do something that weekend?
Yeah.
You use them as an excuse. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to use this too because I'm not really coming up with real reasons.
Right.
Because again, like, also, I was in a relationship in high school, so I wasn't getting propositioned by random people for sex.
So Goldie stops to note that Maya is receiving harassing messages about her song. She's been receiving them for a while and they're getting grosser. Oh well, haters gonna hate, right?
Because it starts out with like, they only like that song because she's blonde.
Which is like, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, right. Okay, good job. And then they're like, just kidding. I'd still rape her. And you're like, oh, motherfucker. All right, y'all went there.
So Zig commiserates and says he wishes he could help her. He hates that someone could do this to her, as Grace is scowling at him. Goldie makes sure Maya can handle the assembly with her harassment, and she thinks she can, but then she gets another comment calling her a crazy slut. Grace explains that trolls are going to troll. They'll say anything to shut her up. But the next comment crossed the line. This dumb girl's song is #not okay, but I'd still rape her anyways. LOL. Nobody can believe it.
Oh my God, I didn't realize there was an LOL at the
Yeah,
end.
it was an LOL.
Yeah, okay, guys, they were joking. It was clearly a joke.
Just
Lols.
a joke. Why'd you take it so seriously?
Oh my God, they said LOL. That's how you know it's passive. You know, it's just
You
kidding.
just have no sense of humor.
JK lol.
The comments are getting really out of control. Like, that's the first we see it, and we're like, oh, shit. Frankie rummages through her locker when Winston comes up behind her, spotting what she was looking for somehow. They chat a bit about Miles and how rough it's been, but she's happy he's in counseling now. Lola and Shay walk by and notice the duo chatting. They have a nice sort of flirty exchange, and Winston is off to English. Lola and Shay rush up excited. Ooh.
I love how literally the three of them are constantly, there's always two of them lingering in the background
Yes.
of one of their like things. And it's like, when I'm taking heavy notes, I don't notice it. But when I'm just watching for fun, I'm like, God, there they are again. Why are they constantly
Yes.
like creeping on each other?
They love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's Frankston the sequel.
Frankston. Oh God, that's an awful, awful couple name.
So yeah, Frankie goes, we were just talking NBD. Lola, the biggest D.
Oh my God. I love it. Thank you, Netflix. Thank you for bringing that into my life. The biggest D.
Is there something she knows about Winston that the rest of us don't?
Well, because then she later says, you know.
Something about making out with kissing him
Yeah.
before.
So I'm like, what happened with Lola and Winston?
I don't know. I haven't got that far.
And I'm surprised that Lola didn't try and steal Winston from Frankie since she's
Right.
just all about that life. But yeah, I know. I'm like, is this like, should that have been on the pros and cons list later? Like,
The
does
biggest D.
Winston have the biggest D?
He needs those long dick underwear.
I know, right? He wears the same size underwear as Zoe's
David
dad.
Sutcliffe.
Yes, David Sutcliffe.
I'll never forget his name now.
I know, right?
Lola is psyched to have a couple friend besides boring ass Zig and Maya in her stupid band.
Oh my God, I know, right? She's like, oh, we have to go to one more. What did she say? Rock show, but
one
like
more stupid rock show.
She didn't even say stupid rock show. It was oh my God. Now I wish I'd written it down, but
Yeah.
it was like, oh my goodness. What are Lola's interests? Truly.
Boys, hair dye.
That's it. Like, what could they be doing that she'd be
Social
interested in?
media.
Yeah, oh, wait, I'm sorry. She wants to do couples yoga. And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I really don't think you're going to get any high school couple to do couples yoga with you. But okay.
I wouldn't want to do. What's the point of couples yoga? Like,
Actually, I did
Is it a
couples
lot?
yoga once. This is funny. This is the shit that you can get random dudes to do with you. I was super duper into yoga, and there was going to be a specific like couples yoga class.
Mhm.
And I had met this dude. We were going to the same open mics, and I thought he was cute. And I don't know, he was saying something about like wanting to do yoga, and I was like, well, this is totally random, but like there's a couples yoga class on like this weekend if you want to go.
Yeah.
And he fucking came with me.
Oh
And it
my
was
God.
so like, yeah, it was a lot of like helping your partner like do deep stretches and then like
Mhm.
leaning on them in positions and stuff. So it was super duper intimate. And I honestly don't think he was actually into me because we never hung out after that.
He was just like, that was too much, too fast.
Well, and I don't know, it's funny because we actually had some mutual friends. And
Yeah.
so I ran into him like in September. He was at a party that I was at.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I think he had a beard. He didn't have one before.
Right.
And he was like, oh, hey, Carly. And I was like, oh, hey, we did couples yoga together that time. And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, what's up? Pretty sure he has a girlfriend now. But yeah, so just so everybody knows out there, that just because you do couples yoga with somebody doesn't mean that you're going to be a couple, unfortunately.
So Frankie is unsure whether or not Winston's even interested, but Shay points out that he went way out of his way to go talk to her before class.
How the fuck does she know where Winston's class is?
They all like stalk each other.
Yeah, no
Weirdos.
shit.
So Lola's like, ooh, Frankston. Zoe is rattling off a list of symptoms in the locker room. For some reason, they're always like, boys and girls are always in the girls' locker room together on this show.
Right? I know. I feel like you could not get away with that back in my day, but
So off her list of symptoms, there's, does it hurt when you tinkle? And Tristan answers yes to all of them. Tristan thinks he has ball cancer and is terrified to lose all his hair.
I know it's not even about like, it's literally just about losing his hair. He's that fucking vain. It doesn't.
It's not about life or death. It's about my
No.
hair.
No, exactly.
Zoe thinks he's overreacting, but Tristan deflects. I'm not the one who kissed Zig to get back at Grace. Tristan asks if she's okay, to which she replies, physically, yes, which is more than I can say for you.
They are just zinging it back and forth at each other.
Back and forth.
I'm always like, do they even like each other? That's like
Right.
my biggest question because they aren't very nice to each other ever.
They're just two assholes that tolerate each other because no one else
Yeah.
will.
And it's 'cause they're always like inconvenienced by each other too. Like, I feel like
Right.
whenever one of them asks the other one to do something, it's like, fine. Like, I think that they just, yeah, like you said, they're just assholes. They're both assholes. And sort of like, yeah, I guess we'll just do this together.
Pretty much. So she asks about leakage and is disgusted when he says yes. But that's actually good news. It's not ball cancer, it's chlamydia. Tristan is still mortified. He hasn't even had sex but has an STD. But Zoe reassures him that chlamydia is pretty treatable, but he still needs to figure out where he's got it, and he thinks he knows where.
So, okay. I think, well, I can relate to this on multiple levels. I think I have multiple stories. Maybe you can disperse them throughout. For one being, I definitely at one point thought I was pregnant in high school, but I hadn't had sex with Tim yet. We had not had sex. But like I think my period was late and I was like, but we dry humped and maybe his semen got through both his underwear and my underwear. Like it was literally underwear on underwear, but I was like, it could have gotten through
Right.
and I could be pregnant.
Oh,
So
God.
but I also think I was low key using that as an excuse to like make him worry because we had broken up at the time. So I think I was also just being like Degrassi level dramatic where I was like, I might be pregnant. Even though we had not had sex.
Right? He's just like, what? Who have you been cheating with then?
Right. But then actually no, he wasn't even accusing me. Like it was like he was on board like you should probably get a pregnancy test.
This is fucking dudes in pregnancy don't know shit.
No,
Like-
and yeah. Yeah. So besides that, having thought I was pregnant without having sex, also at one time when I was at community college, um, one of my teachers was telling, it was like we were in creative writing, and she had said that that oral cancer was, or throat cancer, I'm sorry, not throat cancer was on the rise because of unprotected oral sex.
Right.
And when she said that, like, I was the only person that was like, and like audibly responded, and everyone just looked at me like, you dick sucking slut.
God.
Like, why are you so worried? And I was, it was like one of those things where I was like, oh my God, I should not have audibly responded to that. Essentially, like, that's how I felt. Like, I was like, oh my God. And pretty much every time, like, I'm so fucking stupid. I would go do karaoke, of course, and, sing a bunch of songs, including doing I'm Real, J-Lo and Ja Rule, and doing the Ja Rule voice. Like, what's my motherfucking name? And then the next morning, I'm like, why does my throat hurt? Oh my God, I have an STD. Oh my God, there's an STD in my throat. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Like, and that's pretty much what I would think every morning after karaoke.
Right.
I'd probably like hook up with a dude and then be like, oh my God, he instantly gave me throat cancer. Oh my
Jesus.
God. Yeah, no, I'm fucking stupid. And I always immediately like go to cancer. You know what I mean?
The worst case scenario.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, anytime there's something wrong, like that's why, or self-diagnosing is so dangerous.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you can convince yourself of some terrible shit. But the problem is like, then you just like don't go to the doctors and like let it go. And like maybe you have something, maybe
Right.
you don't, but it's like,
Well, it's so fucking expensive. Like, if I wanted to just up and go to the doctor right now, it's like, that's like $500. Like, and I have insurance.
right. Jesus. Really?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, it's been like $500 when I had really bad insurance. It's not that bad anymore, but like, yeah, sometimes you go to the Minute Clinic, it fucking adds up real quick.
Oh yeah.
But like, Tristan just went during lunch.
Right. Casually.
He just went like, yeah. But it's easier when you're a child. Like, I remember being sick when I was a kid, and my mom could make an appointment and I could go that day.
Right.
Because they care about kids.
So we cut to an empty classroom and Maya cannot stop scrolling. The concept of don't read the comments either hasn't occurred to her or, like me, she just can't help herself.
Yes.
When Grace arrives, she frantically asks for a charger. Her phone is almost dead and she's obsessed. Beth texted me and said, this was me.
Yeah, I mean, but true.
I would totally do that.
Yeah.
Give me your charger. I need to keep responding. I need to
Yes.
keep reading. Like, it's so bad. She attempted to report the trolls, but every time she'd get rid of one, another would pop up. Fake accounts galore. She just can't ignore it. She reads a comment from an MRA. Maya is a fake feminist C-word who has hooked up with every guy at her school. I should know.
Like, okay. Because even when Maya went through her little slutty phase in Next Generation, it lasted for like a week and she only made out with someone.
Right.
And like, yeah, she took a video of him, posted it on Face Range, but like, it really wasn't that bad. She just like started wearing high heels to school. It was like, ooh,
wow,
you slut.
I mean, I'm guessing this person doesn't even know any of that.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just throwing it up. I mean, Jesus, I can't count how many times I've been called a slut by some rando who knows nothing about me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've never been harassed online, but I definitely know when like you're having a heated argument with somebody, it physically takes a toll on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just really, like, you're just sitting there waiting for them to respond. And then you're like, all right, here it comes.
Grace tries to get her to stop feeding the trolls, but Maya is in a bad place and can't. Zig has been acting sketchy and she doesn't know why. Of course, Grace knows and wants to tell her, but she can't kick Maya when she's down. Maya thinks she needs to take a stand and show she's a real feminist who won't stand for abuse. Grace finds a Reddit-like post where someone doxed Maya, which doxing is finding and spreading someone's personal information to encourage harassment and make them feel unsafe in their own homes. Just FYI.
Thank you. Thank you for the English, please. Also, I didn't realize that was Reddit. I was wondering what...
it was like Reddit.
It looked...
Yeah.
I knew it looked like something, but I have never... I don't use Reddit, so
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was like. Why does that look different than Twitter?
Yeah, it was the same style as Reddit for sure. It wasn't Reddit, but it was similar.
That makes sense, though.
So Maya, of course, is thinking worst case scenario, as you do. Would someone show up to her house? Grace isn't sure. It's hard to tell the difference between a troll and a legit stalker, though the difference between the two isn't that much. So here comes another set of tweets. Gonna roll up at 445 Maple Street and give it to Maya right in her bedroom. She needs help. This is too much. Again, yeah, I'm a person who feeds the trolls all the time. I cannot help myself. I get so angry and I'm just like, ugh. And I write these long-winded, like, I don't know. My tone changes depending on where I'm at that day.
Right,
Like
yeah.
some days I'm just like, fuck you, you're an idiot. You can go back to your hole now. Like, fuck you. Other days, you know, I'll sit there and I'll compose like a well thought out response. And then some days it's a mixture of both. Like I start well thought out and then I devolve into fuck you, idiot. Like you're a troll. Get out of here. You're ignorant. Yada yada.
It's so fun. I never realized how like much you do this, Jessie, until like you are on more social media things than I am. And you've always been very into, you know, what like online journaling and groups and stuff like that.
I lived in the middle of the woods. Like that was my outlet, was the internet.
Right. And so, but now, because you've introduced me to like so many fun pages on Facebook, and that's really my only social media. And so like, you know, it'll pop up in my feed that'll be like, oh, you know, Jessie commented on something. I'm like, what did she say? And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Better settle down and see. Well, let's take a look at what old Jessie wrote. And then
God.
Yeah. And then normally I'm like, I'll just like it. Like, yes, I like that. I'm like, I'm not going to get involved, but I see you, girl. Do you?
I hate that Facebook shows people what I've commented on because I'm like, this is my cross to bear here, and I don't need like all these fucking people knowing that I'm like I think
for that in particular, I only see that because I'm in those groups too.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd see it if I wasn't. I don't see anything that for groups that I'm not in.
Well, I comment on like public posts too, and people will see those a lot, and it's just like Facebook, give me a break here. I've looked for like settings to turn that off, but you can't.
Oh yeah.
Everyone gets to see me in my shame of compulsive. It's like a compulsive feminism.
Well, and that's is that the rare disorder you have, compulsive feminism.
I just have to be like, no.
Right. You also have CF, compulsive feminism, instead of cystic fibrosis.
Oh God.
You and Grace both have she has double CF, but you just have singular CF.
It gets really, really frustrating. It takes so much of my energy, like my emotional energy, and like it takes a lot out of me. So like I really want to curb that.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, like when I do it, it's not to change the troll's mind. It's more like for other people reading it to see like, okay, there are rational people in this world. Like there are people who like support me or support this same cause or whatever. It's more like for that purpose, but I wish I had more control over it and I could like leave one comment and then walk away.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, I had a conversation with a friend of mine back home in New Hampshire, and she was saying something about, well, people who are, you know, non-binary or something like that. I saw a post and it was like, they're upset about, you know, this, that, and the third. And I can't remember what the actual thing was, but I was like, so the person who posted that article, was it somebody who was saying they were non-binary and that they believed in it? Or was it somebody saying that it was ridiculous? And she was like, it was somebody saying it was ridiculous. And I was like, well, see, people who are non-binary, transgender, and they're not freaking out about those stupid little things. They just want you to respect their pronouns. Like, yeah, that's the long and short of it. You're seeing more people freak out about.
Well, I mean,
obviously, then there's bigger issues. I understand that, but you know what I mean. It's like when people are like, people think Band-Aids are racist.
Right.
And it's like, no, people don't think Band-Aids are racist. They're just saying that they're not inclusive.
Yeah, there's something to be said for like calling something skin tone and it's for
Right.
white skin tone. Like,
only for white people.
that's not very thoughtful.
It's not inherently racist, but is it
It's telling.
exclusive? And it's not right, is what we're saying, because white people are not the base for everything.
Yeah, it is
Or shouldn't be
telling
the
about
base.
the culture, the larger culture, that like
Right.
white people are the standard.
Right.
And that's not how it should be.
But yeah, so I was explaining to her is that I was like, this thing that people are being like, everybody's freaking out about this. It's like, no, people aren't really freaking out about that. That's not,
Mhm.
they're just using it as a platform to complain about people.
But also like saying everyone's freaking out. It's like, no, they're just like analyzing something.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Exactly.
they're not freaking out. They're calm. Don't worry.
Right. You're freaking out.
Exactly. You're the one losing it. So Miles slugs out of class as Tristan approaches, needing to talk. Miles tries to blow him off, but Tristan gets aggressive. You gave me a social disease.
Yeah. When he like throws him into
He
a wall,
does.
like it is aggressive.
Miles rolls his eyes. He's gotten more blood work taken in the last week than he has in his entire life. He'd know if he had chlamydia.
Yeah, he definitely would.
Tristan is clueless about who could have given it to him. Miles says good luck finding out.
Bye.
So apparently it's not Miles.
He's not patient zero, as Tristan calls him.
Next, we find ourselves at Hollingsworth Estate, seeing the lack of curb appeal for the first time ever. Like, I am seriously underwhelmed by this place and confused about where they could possibly fit this giant courtyard in the middle. Like, I feel like I've been lied to.
Mm.
Did you notice the front of the house? It looks small.
Yeah, it's not huge. I mean,
I don't think it'd fit that giant courtyard and pool in the middle.
so you're saying it's exactly what Emilio said it is, which is like an apartment complex.
Probably.
The pool in the middle.
It's like the set of Melrose
fine.
Place or something. Frankie and Lola are lounging and doing homework. All Lola wants to talk about is Frankston and doing couples yoga. Lola notes that Frankie is on the fence about Winston, so it's time to make a pros and cons list on the TV screen.
How did she do that?
I
What?
know, she just pulled up her pros and cons app.
She like, yeah, I was like, what is this Excel spreadsheet that she pulled up? Yeah, because I was like, how did her phone was already connected to the TV? I don't know. Anyways, I get it. Suspension of disbelief,
Right.
whatever. But okay. But again, Lola would be fucking ready. Like, all she wants is for her friends to be in couples. She doesn't like them single.
So pros. Mixed babies are gorgeous.
You're in high school. Cringe.
That's kind of a cringe thing to say.
It's a
in
cringe
general.
thing. Yeah, it's definitely a cringe thing. Anyways, I know. I definitely still have people that say that to me when I do my interracial dating, and I'm like, I mean, okay, but that's not what I'm doing this for.
Right. That is not the purpose here.
Right.
He's a great kisser,
Don't ask how I know
which
that.
Lola somehow knows. He never hurt her, and she was happier when she was with him.
Because she was happier last year in general, you dumb bitch.
Right.
Not because of Winston, but because her life wasn't as fucking in shambles as much.
Right. So, of course, Winston walks in, and it's anybody's guess if he's seen the list. The Wi-Fi gets buggy, so of course Lola can't close it. Frankie frantically asks what he's doing there, and he's waiting for Miles to get out of counseling. I like how Winston just comes over and waits for Miles like every day, and Frankie hasn't learned that he could just pop up at any time.
Right. Like, clearly, y'all aren't locking the doors, Canada.
Right.
Winston B just walking in.
Like, why would you be surprised by him? He's always there.
He really is. He's literally my next door neighbor growing up. But
So Lola tries to finesse the situation by saying they were talking about cramps. Good job, Lola. You successfully scared him off. Con. Frankie ruined everything again.
I also used to use this as an excuse in like middle school.
Cramps.
No, like if I wanted a boy to like walk away from the conversation, I'd be like, we're talking about our period. Like, I knew from a young age that I was like, if I want you to go away, I'm just gonna bring this up.
Right.
We actually got a boy on the bus once to scream out. This is like in 6th grade. We got him to scream out, "I need my doll," and he didn't know what it was. And then like afterwards he was like, wait, so what is it? And we were like, it's medicine you take when you're on your period.
You're going to turn into a girl.
Oh, you're so gay now.
Oh, God.
I
I'm
know.
sure that's what he was afraid of, was turning into a girl or gay.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, that's pretty much the worst.
No, what did I do?
That's my gay agenda.
Maya and her mom go to the police station and they go over her harassing messages with a police officer. He's impressed that she is a woman who keeps receipts. She points out the rape threats, and the cop feels terrible and asks if she knows who's doing it. She has no idea. The cop explains that they're behind VPNs and they can't track their address to figure it out.
What's
a
a-
VPN is
Thank you.
like it's a thing. I didn't write this one down, so it's going to sound stupid, but it's like a thing that you use on your computer to mask your IP address, which is like
Okay.
how people can find you.
Mhm.
What it does, I think it just randomizes IP addresses or something like that. Like I've never used one, but like I know what it is. It's hard for me to explain.
Okay.
So there's not much they can do without something happening to her.
Oh my God.
Very typical. Protect and serve my ass.
Yeah, because like if people are making threats to police officers on the internet, they're like, we found him, we got him.
Oh yeah, I
You're like,
totally
oh,
saw
okay.
that. That was like a recent thing that happened, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. But truthfully, one of my first apartments that I had in Chicago got broken into twice when I lived there.
Mhm.
And both times the cops came, they were like, well, can't get fingerprints off that. Can't do anything about that.
Oh,
Can't do anything
God.
about that. Yep, sorry it happened to you. Have a good day. And you're like, okay, what's the point of you guys?
I have
Okay.
never received help from a police officer. Like I've received nothing but not help.
Right.
Like,
'Cause-
I have gone out of my way to go to do what Maya's done and document everything. Like, because I've been harassed by a couple different people over the years.
Mhm.
And like I brought all the proof. I'm like, this guy's doing XYZ. That's why I was talking shit about him. Like the guy at the time he was extorting teenagers and like young adults for their nudes.
Oh my God.
Like he had their nudes and he was extorting them, being like, if you talk to this guy, I'm going to leak your nudes. If you do this, I'm going to
Oh
leak
my
your nudes.
God. These were teenagers?
This was a guy who was like in his late 20s, I think. And he was doing this to teenagers and like young adults.
He should have gotten caught for child pornography.
I mean,
Jesus.
So I went after this guy because he was doing this, and I wrote like a blog post about him. I was interviewed anonymously for Gawker, all of this stuff, and he wound up threatening to sue me
For just telling
for
the
telling
truth.
the truth. And I had all this proof.
Right.
I documented everything, and I had a bunch of witnesses who were like in my LiveJournal communities at the time, who had my back, who were getting all the information. And what happened was, apparently there's a law in New Hampshire that makes defaming someone like a criminal
Wow.
offense rather than like when you go to like sue each other, whatever that's
Okay.
called. He had doxed me,
Mhm.
but the most recent address he had found was my mom's house. So he had police go to my mom's house looking for me.
Wow.
I didn't live there. My mom called and was like, the police are looking for you, yada, yada. I go into the police station and I'm like, this dude has been harassing me because I spoke the truth about him. Here's all the proof.
Mm.
They, of course, agreed to not arrest me, but
Right.
they refused to do anything about him. And he was threatening. Yeah, he was constantly threatening me with lawsuits, threatening to, do stuff to my family, like, dox my family, all sorts of messed up stuff.
You
And
mean I could have been doxxed, Jesse?
It was more my immediate family.
Okay, all right. I was
But,
like, you put me in harm's way.
But yeah, so the police just did nothing. They're like, nothing we can do. And part of the problem is there just weren't any laws to cover stuff like that because it's the internet.
Oh, back then. I'm sure this was a couple years ago,
Yeah.
right? Internet.
It was, I was still on LiveJournal at the time.
Yeah, so that says something, yeah. I mean, aren't we also on LiveJournal?
But yeah, like there weren't any laws covering the internet really, and there aren't really any laws to protect people from harassment on the internet. It's like if someone was following me down the street being like, fuck you, I'm going to rape you, they'd go to jail. But
Mm.
like because they're following me around on the internet and saying, fuck you, I'm going to rape you, the police are like, whatever. If someone hurts you, then we can do something about it. But
Right. And it's like, how many times have people been harassed online and then fucking murdered? And it's like,
right.
there was a case very recently of a woman who was on campus, and she repeatedly went to campus police about her ex-boyfriend who was harassing her and threatening her, and they didn't do anything. And then he fucking murdered her.
Oh my God.
And it's like, well.
And you never can tell. It's like,
yeah.
You can take your chances and gamble with it, but I mean, which is what the police do, is just gamble on you. Like, maybe you'll be fine, but maybe someone will kill you. I don't know. Like,
and yet here we go. We've got Twitter that is banning people for not for doing this, but like the opposite. The people who are being harassed are the ones that are getting banned on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got a suspension the other day on Twitter for calling
that's right. I remember because you were defending Billy from Vanderpump Rules.
From Vanderpump Rules. Yeah, this woman was like intentionally calling her a man. This is a trans woman from the show Vanderpump Rules, who's been getting a ton of hatred from the fan base of the show. People purposely calling her a man and saying all that, gross stuff. And I saw someone do it and I called them a bigot. And we had a back and forth, and she's like, why are you stalking me? And I'm like, no, we're having a back and forth, but okay.
On a public forum.
On a public forum. And so then she reports me and I get suspended.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for calling her a bigot and explaining her bigotry to her.
One of my friends, he gets put in Twitter jail all the time. And like every time we're always like, oh, what did you do this time? But it is legitimately like, I'm gonna fucking murder Donald Trump. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely not like at all any cute back and forth. It's like,
right.
You should die. And you're like, oh, well, okay.
You deserve that one.
I guess I get why you got put in Twitter jail for that. That was a legitimate threat.
Oh God.
But that's when they're threatening powerful white men, then it's very easy to get.
On Facebook, you get in trouble for saying white man. That's why people of color use YT. Yeah.
I noticed that. That's why I switched to YT. Oh, okay. So one of my friends, this is a totally different friend. He got put in Facebook jail for 3 days, I think, because he made a joke that was like, whatever voting day was. I think it was November 6th. And it was like, Republicans, make sure you don't forget to vote on November 7th.
Yeah.
And he got put in Facebook jail for like 3 days for that.
For fake news?
For fake news. Like, okay.
Oh, he tried.
He tried it. He got put into Facebook jail.
So with all that being said, he says that they can't send an officer to protect her because they don't have enough officers to cover every woman who has ever been harassed, which is like...
What the fuck does that say about the world? About women? Christ.
He claims that violence is rare in these cases, so she should just chill and go offline. But she can't do that because she lives online.
Her music's online.
Which, she shouldn't have to go offline. Like...
Right, exactly.
This is a huge reason why this stuff needs to be taken more seriously, because it's like, it really does infringe upon people's rights to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Like, you're going online, you're just trying to do your thing, and someone's harassing you, and the only advice is, well, just live your life differently. Don't go online.
I mean, I hate to say it, but like, people always ask me like, why, how come I'm not on Instagram? How come I'm not on Twitter? And stuff like that, because they really like my Facebook posts. They're so funny. But like, truthfully, like the idea of being like Twitter famous, that scares the fuck out of me, because I don't want to have to interact with people I don't know.
Right.
Like, I'm in my safe little cocoon. Give me my 97 likes on Facebook and a couple of ha-has, and I'm a happy gal.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be Twitter famous, because that's fucking scary.
Yeah, it's a lot of attention, and like, I struggle with getting a large following on the basis that with a bigger following comes more harassment.
Exactly.
That definitely, like, anytime I've like wanted to YouTube or something, I would get so many negative comments from like MRAs and stuff, and barely any feedback from anybody who might like what I want to do, because it's the MRAs who are like frantically searching for things like toxic masculinity. I'm going to go rage out,
What are they doing?
And so anytime...
How do they have so much time?
because they're insufferable and have no friends or girlfriends.
Oh,
Like-
true.
But so a lot of times harassment would scare me off anytime I maybe was like, I'd like to, do something like YouTube or put myself out there more. But I'm trying, we haven't got a lot of tension yet. So
Yeah, it's only a matter of
hopefully by
time.
the time, if we ever do, hopefully I'll be ready for it.
Right? When real man MRA comes for us, we'll be ready for him.
Honestly, the way we've been hashtagging it, I'm surprised we haven't got a bunch of MRAs up our ass, but
Maybe they just don't give a shit about Degrassi.
maybe.
Maybe MRAs don't watch Degrassi. I mean, it is especially the new class, it's a pretty
Yeah.
fucking liberal show.
Right.
The way they've spun most of the things, like the topics they're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
like they're doing it for a reason. That's because, Gen Zs, millennials, we're all open-minded. Woo.
At least a lot more than used to be.
Yes, yeah.
There are plenty of trash children out there.
That's true. That's true. Born in a dumpster fire. Trash children.
Tristan goes down his list of romantic encounters. VJ, Luke, other Luke, abs guy, ...
I think it's on the swim team.
Zoe is shocked by his body count. Tristan will not be slut shamed. But what if he can't figure out who did it to him?
Who chlamydiated him.
Zoe points out that Tristan kind of needs to tell the guys that they might have chlamydia too, which Tristan is not okay with. Everyone at school would find out and he'd be ruined.
Ruined.
Shout out to my mom for saying it ruined.
We're ruined. I had to talk about, he's like looking through his phone and he's like, okay, 2 selfies of me and VJ, 1 clear stock photo of this dude who's like looking at a phone or an iPad or something like that. It was like, come on, Degrassi, really? Really? That was clearly a stock photo.
Oh, God. Zoe thinks the presidential thing to do is to come clean, but Tristan doesn't want to be impeached. He's a Clinton. Zoe says life is better if you just never hook up with anyone ever. Life is so unfair. Tristan just barely learned how to get guys and now he has to stop because chlamydia? Can he keep this secret? How is Zoe handling keeping hers? But maybe there's another way, an anonymous STI notification system.
Notifyyourpartners.com.
That's pretty cool.
That's probably definitely a real thing. I didn't look it up, but I'm sure it's a real thing.
I think it's kind of a happy medium, between protecting your privacy, but also doing the responsible thing and telling somebody that they might have it.
Right, because you don't want, unfortunately these things happen and you don't want somebody going off on you on the internet.
Right.
Being spreading all your personal business.
Right. Telling everybody you have it.
Right. But then also, Tristan assuming that all these other little gay high schoolers have hooked up with mad dudes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then VJ comes in, it's like, what the fuck did you expect, Tristan? Anyways, sorry, we're jumping ahead.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, Tristan, you haven't even gone to the doctors yet. That's what's so infuriating about Tristan. You, before you're freaking out, can you please just go to the doctor?
Right. You can leave it one more day.
Right, because the thing of it is so many STDs are so similar in their symptoms. Yeah, I'm like, why can't I think of the word? It's irresponsible of you to tell a bunch of people that he's given them something when he has no idea if he does or doesn't have it.
Yes. it still could probably be ball cancer.
It could be ball cancer, dude.
I feel like ball cancer probably has similar symptoms.
Because what I'm confused about is that I can't think of an STD like that. I guess I don't know. I don't have a penis, so I'm not exactly sure how it works. But I feel like it doesn't hurt when you get an erection. I feel like it hurts when you pee or during sex because if there's stuff moving through the pee hole,
Your
the urethra, if we're gonna be
clinical about it.
if we're gonna be, you gotta have your juices flowing through your pee hole.
Say I have no idea.
I just know for when the reveal comes and it's a UTI, I'm like,
right.
For girls, it hurts when you pee.
For girls, it hurts constantly when you have, oh my God, I had a UTI and it was so painful.
Yeah. Anna gets a lot of UTIs.
It was like laid out on the couch, can't move, taking all sorts of like specific painkillers for that purpose, just like,
and
please
you
stop.
thought that you had ball cancer. You're like, I don't even have testicles.
I had no idea what was going on. It was terrible. Like, I didn't have health insurance, but I went to the doctor. I
Oh,
was
wow.
like, this is bad. That's how bad it was.
Oh my God. I have to tell the story of my first yeast infection.
Oh God.
Okay. Again, this is another, Carly's a fucking idiot. Okay. I got my first yeast infection when I was like, I think 21.
Mhm.
And I was talking to my friends about it. So I went to the doctor, discovered it was a yeast infection. It's no big deal. You go get your monostat one. You get ovular insult.
Insult.
Oh my God, ovular insert. God,
Yeah.
that's quite a sentence. But anyways, I thought that I got it. And I was talking to my coworkers that I was like, well, the guy that I'm dating drinks a lot of beer and he went down on me. So maybe there was yeast in his mouth and it got in my vagina. And that's how you get a yeast infection. And, all the real adults at Joey's Diner were like, oh, honey, no, that's not. But actually what was happening was that I was working at a 1950s style diner and I was wearing pants under a poodle skirt in, you're talking over 100-degree weather and you're in the back of a kitchen and like it was just fucking hot. And that's probably the real reason I got a yeast infection. But I was like, it's because that boy likes beer and there's yeast in beer and he put his yeasty beer mouth in my vagina and that's how you get a yeast infection.
Oh,
so yes.
You just sprinkle some yeast down there and it.
Yeah, I was like, I want to make my vagina rise. Then we put a little yeast, warm it up, and I got some dough.
Jesus.
Why am I single? I don't understand. I am so smart.
So Goldie goes up to the board to explain some stuff about triangles.
Because there's no teacher in this class.
Right.
Goldie's the teacher. For all intents and purposes, there's no teacher in this class.
She's up there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and we never see a teacher. I have no idea who they only have the 3 teachers. So there's a science teacher who makes terrible jokes.
Yeah.
There's a sexy teacher who teaches English.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that
there's a Mandarin teacher.
There's a Mandarin teacher.
Yeah.
There's no math teacher.
No clue. I didn't pay that close attention.
There was a math teacher in Next Generation. I can't remember what his name is, but it's a dude. But I thought he kind of filtered into. Anyways,
no clue.
There's no teacher for this math class. Nobody teaches math. Anyways, Goldie teaches math.
So we focus on Maya, who is still buzzing away with harassing messages. 12 new ones to be exact. More rape threats and one directed at her mom.
I noticed that.
This is when harassment gets to most people. They might be okay taking the abuse, but the second it affects friends and family, it's over. That's what stopped me creating trouble on the internet for like creepy men and stuff like that, is because they started trying to bring my family into it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. As your family. It's just like in superhero movies.
Yes.
It's like, I can't date you because the bad guy will threaten you. And then that's the trouble.
So phone grabby Maya steals the guy in front of her phone and finds nothing but sports.
Like the 2 27-year-olds. Like, yes. Am I right though?
Yes.
Those 2 dudes, I was like, what the fuck? Those dudes are just way too old for this class. But I was like, hey dude, oh no sweet bro. Like, nice sports.
It's starting to get to her. She's paranoid and suspicious of everyone on a phone. It hits peak paranoia when she hears, "You're gonna die," instead of whatever Goldie was actually saying, solving for sign.
Looking for sign. Solving for sign.
She gets a grip and sits down, but then she gets, "Later at your feminazi rally, I'm gonna blow your head off. Have fun in math class." So yeah, it's definitely local, and they know that where she is at that second.
Yeah. Why didn't go to Principal Snake?
Right?
Like
yes.
that's my thing, is that like these threats are clearly coming from school.
Right.
Clearly.
Right.
Go to the principal. Principal Snake knows nothing about this. You went to the police, which was a good thing. You like, it's like, instead of acting local, she went global. Like she like, what, you need to act local first, girlfriend. Go to Principal Snake and see what he says, because clearly they know.
Yeah, it's once you get that you're in math class right now, like, okay, yeah, this is the time where you get the principal involved, like, because the police were useless, but the principal might be able to actually do something because they're like not bound by the law. So
Exactly.
they can investigate it, even if it's not, even if they don't have a search warrant,
Right.
for example.
But again, this is why I'm like, okay, there's clearly no teacher in this class, because a teacher would have been like, hey, Maya, why are you standing up in the middle
Why
of
is
class taking
everyone on their phone?
Everyone was on their phone. Like, that was blatant. Those two dudes were like, look at my phone. I'm handing it to you across the fucking hallway. But yeah, clearly there's no teacher in there, because then Maya was just like, I'm leaving.
Right.
And then there was no teacher that was like, where are you going? What's going on? And Goldie's just like, I've lost control of my classroom.
Frankie approaches Winston at his locker, apologizing for kicking him out. It's no big deal. He was there to see Miles anyways. He lets on that he saw the list. Good to know I'm a good kisser.
Wink.
Frankie is mortified. But Winston has been making his own list, and it's coming up Frankie. Pros, she has beautiful hair. She's always super nice and cheerful.
Not anymore, though, Winston. That's the
Right?
old Frankie. You don't know
Someone missed the
Frankie.
memo about emo Frankie.
Yeah, you don't know Frankie like that anymore, okay? But once again, a lot of geometric shapes. I think she has polka dots on
Right.
her shirts. And
Yes, she
Winston
does.
has new geometric shapes. Anyways,
So he definitely has feelings for her, but she looks a bit wary.
she does. Like, she walks away and is a little, like, eye rolly.
Right. She just like suddenly is kind of over him.
Yeah.
So Tristan is leading a student council meeting and makes sure Goldie is good to go on the feminist club assembly.
And this is, again, in the middle of school.
right.
This is not after school. This is in the middle of school. So,
It's student council class.
yeah. And this is before lunch, because then Tristan goes to the doctor. I don't know. I'm like, when does anybody have class? Because Tristan has a free...
They have 5-minute classes.
Yeah.
VJ busts in demanding to know what STI Tristan gave him. He knows the anonymous email was him because he's never been with anybody else. VJ is panicking. How bad is it? Am I going to die? But Tristan is trying to calm the situation. He admits it's just chlamydia. The student council is shocked by this hot goss.
Also, VJ clearly has a Fly Girls meeting right after this student council meeting, because he is, I don't know, he is ready for some 90s hip hop dancing with his gold chain and more geometric shapes on his,
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, you look like a fly girl. I don't know what this outfit is.
So Tristan just like admits it in front of everybody, just so casually. It's just chlamydia, whatever.
Which he doesn't even know if he has.
Yes.
And he was all worried about a political scandal, and now he's just telling everybody he has chlamydia. Like,
Right.
no big.
Tristan.
Because I'm curious what, like, I bet they just made out, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Because, like, they were together
that's
for
the
2 days.
question. He's like, I've never even had sex. So like, what have you done?
Right. Are you blowing all these dudes? Is that what it is?
Right.
Because, like,
Maybe.
I'm assuming you can have chlamydia in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. All the time.
But, like,
no, you can't.
yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah.
You can catch it that way.
Yeah. I don't want to think about this.
I know.
This is why I reserve BJs for boyfriends, BJs for BFs. I don't know where that dick's been.
So Zig and Maya skip class, and Zig comforts Maya with a nice hot drink. They're ditching school because Maya is scared. Zig would do anything for her. Maya knows the threats are probably fake, but she can't handle the volume. It's overwhelming. She doesn't feel safe anywhere, and all over a song.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I would feel more safe. Like, I don't know. Like, I think I would have gone to the principal's office because I
Mhm.
didn't feel safe. Like, I don't think, like, I would.
Just go home.
They already, like, they doxed her.
Right.
People know where she lives. Like, I don't know that I would feel safe
Mhm.
where her parents aren't home.
Right.
Like, I don't know that I would feel safe there either.
Zig is there, though, and he's got the guns, so...
Well, I mean, yeah, he's
got
there
all
on
the guns.
His shirt is extra sleeveless in this episode. Like, it's not just a sleeveless shirt. It is a full-on tank top. And he is showing off them shoulders. Like, I bet Amelia wishes he was talking about Zig in this episode.
Zig just wants to knock your spark out.
God.
Yeah, Zig wants to knock this guy's spark out. Maya blames herself. Did she ignore them too long or not enough? Did she invite this harassment somehow? What could she have done differently? This is such a common behavior when you're being victimized. Zig assures her she did nothing wrong. Maya is so sad she can't attend the assembly. But maybe she can after all. The marvels of modern technology save the day once again. She can live stream. Zig, with all of his personal growth, points out that it's not perfect or fair, but it's taking a stand. Maya calls him the best, but he knows he fucked up.
Oh, Zig. Zig. Also, how did he come up with this idea? He's a fucking dumbass.
Right.
Like, I'm shook that he was like, we could live stream. It's like, Zig, who gave you the right? You are dumb. But anyways, okay.
I love all these shots of like him just being guilty.
Oh my God, I know. All these hugs, all these like
You're
warm
the best.
embraces.
Guilty face.
And he's just like, oh.
You're good at playing a creep. Guilty face.
I know, like it makes me wonder how many times did I hug my ex-boyfriend who cheated on me? Like how many longing looks of despair did he make behind my back every time we hugged? Where he was just like, oh, every time she shows me love. I know I fucked up.
Just every single time.
Like I would have known he cheated on me if I had just stood like with mirrors in front of me and in front of him. Like I would have been able to see the look of, oh, shame.
Next time you're dating someone, just have a friend nearby who can look every time you're hugging. Be like, he looked pretty sad. I don't know.
I'm going to call him the best and then hug him. You tell me what his face looks like.
Pay attention.
Thank you. And that's how you know, ladies. That's how you find out if your man is cheating. Is in those warm embraces. It was so real, the way that she was asking herself all the questions of like, could I have done things differently? Like,
right.
Do I deserve this? And because I especially feel like for women in particular, we're constantly, because of the fact that we're constantly criticized, you know, and being told that things are our fault. When something happens to us, an immediate reaction to think, what did I do to deserve this?
Right.
Like, I must have done something
right
in order to get this reaction, so clearly I did something wrong.
Yeah, it's like incredibly common to look back and be like, I should have done X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no, you shouldn't have to change how you live your life in order to avoid being harassed, like with the exception of someone who's like a terrible person doing terrible things. Like,
Y'all had it coming.
But like for just a casual feminist, it's like
she's been a feminist for like a week.
Right?
It's literally been a week.
Oh
like she just discovered feminism and she's already getting this shit.
But it's yeah, like a lot of people self-victim blame, but I think that's because in general a lot of people victim blame. Like people want to believe that we're living in a just world where good guys have good things happen to them and bad guys have bad things happen to them. But it's like good people have bad things happen to them all the time. And it's like a way for people to rationalize why bad things happen to good people. It's like, well, actually, she was wearing a short skirt. So that cancels out her good, you know, perfect victim.
You know, how come Goldie isn't getting harassed?
Right? You'd think.
Because, like, they're against the feminist club.
Right. And Goldie's the leader of the feminist
club.
I guess they're saying that Not Okay has been posted online and she's been getting that since she posted it, I think. So maybe it's because Goldie isn't putting herself out there on the internet. So Maya should have known better.
I know. I mean, because we can't reveal who is behind these things. But I'm like, I feel like Goldie would be getting it too. But anyways.
Yeah. It's like then they'd have to tackle the entire other axis of oppression that would be being used there.
That's true. Yeah, let's attack the white woman. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not go there just yet.
So Shay and Lola are pumped about the Frankston sequel, but Frankie doesn't seem so sure. His list wasn't weird. It was just superficial. As if hers wasn't.
Mixed babies.
Mixed babies are gorgeous.
Woo. But to be fair, that was Lola. That wasn't really Frankie.
It was mostly just about her being nice and happy, but she hasn't been nice or happy in months.
And also, I love how shook Lola is that, like, oh my God, he said you had nice hair. That's like the nicest compliment. Because it's like, because low-key Lola's like, you had those really bad highlights.
Right, and he still loved you. If he can love you in those highlights, he's the one.
Yeah, she was like, you got a face for radio, Frankie, apparently.
Yeah, Lola thinks she's crazy. Complimenting her hair is like the nicest thing he could say.
Right.
They just don't get it. Frankie tries to explain that the last time she kissed him, he tasted like peanut butter. And from then on, peanut butter reminded her of Winston in a bad way. So now she's not even sure if she likes peanut butter at all. Clearly, Miles is the only literary genius in the family because that was whack.
Yeah.
Weird analogy. The feminist assembly starts with an intro from Goldie. Lola is not impressed. This is so boring.
I was like, why is she so anti this assembly? And then I'm like, oh, well, listening to like everything that Tiny has said,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he's said it in front of Lola. So she's like, feminazi.
Right. Yeah. We haven't seen any of Tiny maybe growing.
Right.
I mean, he like tends to treat whoever he's dating pretty well,
Right.
but yeah, those comments he said, like, we haven't seen an arc from him yet where he's like, oh yeah, I was wrong.
Right. Exactly.
Like we get with Zig. Lola says peanut butter makes everything better, but Shay says not if you go into anaphylactic shock. Goldie announces that Maya will be speaking and singing over webcam.
Which should be cool.
It'll be
I like
real
this.
cool.
Which should be cool. Like, okay. Sweet Goldie.
Should be cool. Might not be cool.
Right.
I don't
It might
know.
not be.
Hit or miss.
Also, I noticed through like the Degrassi wiki pages when I was looking for pictures to do memes, there is a girl who is so blatantly looking around Shay's hair, like at the
Really?
assembly, like she clearly cannot see over Shay's hair, and she's just like way out there, like
Oh my
it's-
god.
like it is you can see it when you watch the episode too. She's just like I'm cocking my head way around this girl so I can actually see
I
what's
just
going
kind of
on.
want to put that on our Instagram with no comment.
Yeah, right. And she's like, I can't see. Shay's hair's too big.
Oh, God. Tristan has apparently downgraded his incognito look from junior detective to just a baseball hat.
No, he's Joe Goldberg now. This is what this whole outfit is giving me, the you vibe. Like,
Yeah.
not incognito, but you know what I mean? And you, Beck never notices Joe, so maybe this is fine for Tristan. Nobody saw him.
He's like standing behind a 5-inch wide tree. Like, this covers me. I'm good. No one can see
right,
me.
exactly. Oh, and by the way, I don't know why I love listening to the school announcements so much, but the one during this scene is that the science fiction club is on the brink of a time travel discovery. I was like, okay. And I think it's because I have the subtitles on when I watch.
Oh, yeah.
So like you can read what they're saying. I was like, oh, interesting. Okay.
Hunter walks up to tease him about his chlamydia. He planned to take him down, but Tristan did the work for him.
He's been out polling the electorate lately. Ooh. Oh, also, I noticed in this scene, I don't know if you noticed, but Hunter is really clutching his bags.
Really?
But it's weird because he has a side satchel bag and he is holding the bottom of it.
That's weird.
And it looked weird.
Yeah. Miles approaches and Tristan doesn't have the time or energy for 2 sassy Hollingsworths in a row. Miles expresses genuine concern. He encourages him to go to the doctor because the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Tristan is confused by the compassion. Miles understands being a screw-up. Turns out Tristan went to the doctor at lunch and doesn't have chlamydia, just a regular old UTI. Tristan has learned his lesson. Wrap it up and stop self-diagnosing when you have that sweet, sweet Canadian healthcare. Miles invites him to grab some cranberry juice and chat. It's a really sweet scene.
Okay. Who in high school is like, do you want to get a drink?
Right?
Because that's what he's like. Do you want to go grab a drink? Like specifically a large cranberry juice? Makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, no one's asking you to go get a drink in high school. That's not what you do.
Well, he does drink single malt. Is that what it's called? Single
That's
malt
what I think. Yeah.
whiskey? So
He does drink single malt, but like, I don't know. It would make more sense if he was like, do you want to go to the dot?
Right. The feminist assembly is in full swing as Maya rocks out over Skype. The audience loves it, and Goldie is beaming. Maya explains that she didn't realize her song was the next feminist anthem at first, but now she's aware as she has experienced a ton of harassment. She points out the sexism in the bullying, the rape threats, the slut shaming. She makes a pretty good speech about how dehumanizing and threatening it is, but is interrupted by a goddamn SWAT team.
Every time I get on my feminist soapbox, there's always a SWAT team that comes in.
The cops throw them to the ground as the students watch in shock. The team is told to stand down. It's a prank call. She's been swatted. And swatting is the act of calling in an emergency situation to get a SWAT team sent to someone's house as they live stream.
My biggest thought process is that if this happened in America,
It does.
well, no, I'm saying this is for
Yeah.
this specific scenario. First
Okay.
off, if they weren't white, they would have been shot immediately.
Oh, God.
Like they literally would have
yes.
been shot immediately. There would have been no questions asked.
Oh, yeah.
The police were so nice afterwards. I was like, no, that wouldn't happen.
Right.
They would not be nice to those kids.
No.
It didn't matter that they're not the ones that made the prank call.
Right.
Those cops would be dicks to them. They would be so fucking inconvenienced that they got called in on a prank that those kids didn't even do.
Right.
But like they're 100% chance that those cops would have been dicks to them.
Yes. And it's such a dangerous thing to do. Like one wrong move and they could have been killed.
They really could have been killed.
I mean, yeah, again, less likely if you're white. Most white people get out alive when the cops get called on them. But
yeah, because the whole process took like 30 seconds.
Right.
Like they got in there, they're like, clear, just a prank.
Right.
And it was like, oh, wait, what?
You'd think they could have waited one more minute and verified it was a prank before going in.
Yeah. Yeah. It all happened so fast. They were so Canadian about it. Just like, so sorry about that.
Sorry
about
lady. That.
Oh my. Sorry about that. Well, now we'll post a fucking cop car outside.
Right.
Now we got you.
So the cop gives a very PSA performance, but because something finally crossed a line to the police, they're going to keep a car outside for a while. Maya assumes it was some rando, but the cop explains that the call came from inside the house. Not really, but it was local.
Yeah, but basically. I love that, like, yeah, it was Zig who's like, some jerks in Wisconsin probably, right? And it was like, if she thinks that this is because of her song, this bitch thinks she went that viral that some fucking Joe Schmo in Wisconsin was like, let's fucking swat this bitch. Like, has no stake in the matter. Let's just fuck up her day in Wisconsin.
I mean, it does happen. Like, I don't know how often this has happened, but it's absolutely happened.
I'm just saying, why aren't they thinking school? Why aren't they thinking like, this is because of school?
I mean, most hints point to school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everything, but this scenario says school.
So Frankie spots Winston in the hallway and hides. Jonah catches her. Frankie accuses him of stalking her to dispense elderly wisdom. They sass each other in a heated back and forth. She rattles off his normal spiel as she marches up to Jonah and gets in his face. He tells her to go to her besties for better advice when she plants one on him. She's into the banter. Embarrassed, she goes to walk away, but he pulls her back in. He likes his ladies with some sizzle and spice.
Oh my God.
But so yeah, that's the end of the episode. Or did you have anything to say?
No, I guess the only thing I have to say about that whole kiss is that it just seems so unbelievable to me. The guy was like, "This doesn't happen in high school."
Yeah, I don't think Frankie has the guts.
No, I definitely don't think she does. I think she's not that forward.
But it's also like it's kind of funny watching them. They're like so romantic, quote unquote, all the time, and it's like that's not high school relationship.
It's really not.
Like he just dramatically pulls her back in like a rom-com
like
or
a
something.
Dance move. Yeah.
But yeah, so Frankie is into Jonah, turns out.
Or at least not into Winston. I don't know if she knows what she wants.
She loves being negged. Like, that's her big thing.
She does.
Winston is too nice to her. He likes her too much.
That's exactly. And that's a lesson we all have to learn, ladies.
Jonah thinks she's a spoiled brat. She likes that.
She's like, yeah, panties off. I had wanted to read this. This popped up on my time hop from 9 years ago.
Oh, God.
And it's a text from last night. I was really into making texts from last night, my Facebook statuses. But this one was, I'm transferring to Degrassi. I don't care that it's severely Canadian. Classes are 5 minutes long. There's no actual work. And you get out of class whenever you want to go to a dramatic scene with someone in the hall. And I was like, yes.
That sounds like a good high school.
I was like, I'm on board.
I couldn't really come up with a consistent theme for this. I couldn't even tell why the hashtag.
Right.
Like, none of this made, like, connected for me, but let me think about it for a second. I didn't really think too hard. So.
I didn't write down a theme. I forgot. Oh, this is stupid, but something about being anonymous can be a good thing or a bad thing, because Tristan wanted to be anonymous with his, telling the world about his chlamydia that he didn't have, and there are anonymous trolls. Yeah, I'm really grasping at straws.
Yeah, I don't have one major theme here. But so yeah, I mean we can sum it up. So
It hurts when I pee.
yeah, that's the theme.
Either address or peeing in the toilet.
Hashtag it hurts when I pee.
Uh-huh. I nailed it.
But so yeah, where are we at with these characters? So Tristan does not have an STI,
Nope.
but is seemingly rekindling a friendship with Miles. So that's kind of nice. It's like Miles is reaching out to somebody who is like positive for him rather than Esme.
Right. I know I missed Esme in this episode. She's not in it.
Then we got Maya getting harassed, struggling to know what to even do with that harassment. Like there doesn't seem to be anyone willing to help her. There doesn't seem to be anything she can do because like anytime she blocks them, they can just come back. Like she's just up against a brick wall here. Like
Maya goes through a lot.
Yeah.
Like over the
In
course
general.
over the course of her character, like she definitely goes through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, then there's Frankie who is over Winston and here for Jonah. So don't know how any of those things relate if they even do, but that's where we're at. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. And if you have a story that goes there, especially if it relates to next week's episode, write to us at asocialdiseasepodcast@gmail.com and follow us on social media at asocialdisease.
And make sure to tune in next week when we discuss Season 1, Episode 9, #Since We Being Honest.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
And once again, we're your hosts, Jesse Mack.
And Carly Jo Gear.
And this has been a Social Disease Podcast.
Thanks for listening.